Hey everybody, this is Dusk Non Gaming playing some Jeskai Miracles tonight before we get into the stream. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, both now and in the future on the replays. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you're an OG, as Space Marine likes to call it, please consider looking at our Patreon page and supporting the channel. Alright, all that said, this is a deck. I've played this particular version only once. We went 4-1. We did get a little bit fortunate with some top decks and that, so I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a Jeskai Miracles expert or anything. So I made a couple changes from the last list. I took out one Logic Knot. It does leave us a little more vulnerable to certain spells and such, but I noticed that this deck has some issues getting enough traction to have Logic Knot be readily available on turn 2, or sometimes even turn 3, as like a hard counter spell. So I decided to move one of the Lightning Helixes from the sideboard to the main deck, have a little bit more burnout reach, a little bit more interaction with the creature decks, and then put an additional negate in the sideboard. So that was my big change from the last list. Otherwise, this is still largely Brian DeMars's list from Channel Fireball a couple weeks back. Deck felt pretty smooth overall. Our one loss the last league was to Goblins, which was just a combination of like some bad, kept like a interaction light hand game 1 and some other stuff. So those of you that aren't aware, this is kind of a mashup between traditional Jeskai Control and Blue-White Miracles. You have the Jace Terminus Opt package, frequently found in blue-white, as well as Path to Exile, and then for the red cards you basically have Lightning Bolt and Lightning Helix. This makes you a little bit better against the creature matchups, but a little bit more vulnerable in things like against things like Tron or more spell-based combo, because you don't have quite as many counter spells running around, don't have quite as many cantrips, but you do have 4 full Snapcaster Mages, and also the ability to close out the game between the Snapcaster Mages, the Bolts, and the Helixes. So this version is a little less all in on controlling the game, and a little bit more can play the tempo game if it needs to. Beyond that, you're just a blue-white control deck with some burn spells. You got Cryptic Command, Logic Knot, Terminus as your Wrath, Jason Teferi to kind of close out the game and accrue card advantage, and then search for his Kanta, pretty much a mainstay in these archetypes anymore. Sideboard, you get to benefit from both the red and the blue cards, as well as Stony Silence, obviously necessary against things like KCI, Hardened Scales, Tron. A couple of Vendilion clicks for matchups where you need to get more aggressive, decks like Tron, decks like the combo matchups. Same thing with Geist of St. Traft. This usually comes in against things like Tron and such when you need to be more pressure oriented because you can't control the game. Negates when you need negates, Dispel against control and things like Burn. Alpine Moon primarily here for Tron, because Tron's a pretty rough matchup for this archetype. You don't have a ton of interaction for the lands and such. You have 3 Field of Runes in this build, as opposed to Blue-White has 4, and some builds of Blue-White even go up to a Ghost Quarter as well. So you need like the Alpine Moons, in addition to the Stony Silences and the Dampening Spheres to really kind of put the kibosh on Tron long enough for your kind of tempo plan to close them out, and then a 1 of a Braid to pop any artifacts, also good as an additional spot removal, and anything where like Lightning Bolt and Helix would be relevant. So that's pretty much the deck. Not a whole lot to it. It's a little bit more complicated to play than it is to explain. It's an archetype that I have most of the cards for at this point. Like, I have the blue-white list, so I'm working on acquiring the last little bits of stuff for the Jeskai list itself, like the Scalding Tarns, the Steam Vents, and a couple other random nonsense that I still need. So, but I definitely need more practice with this. I mean, obviously we have the RP2Q coming up in December. I mean, I still have Burn in my back pocket as the top deck to choose from, but you need to have other options just in case something feels wrong with your top tier choice deck. This deck felt pretty good the last time out. I'm sure some of that was beginner's luck, a little bit of top decking, but the deck felt pretty smooth. I do like control decks that can close out games. I'm not someone who likes to play draw, grow, control all day. Eventually I make mistakes or poor choices, so it's just best to be able to have the ability to close out the game. but it's definitely a archetype I need to work on, so feels good to get some practice in. This hand's a little bit weird. So, double opt, 1 island, 2 Field of Ruins, no early interaction, and a Teferi? I guess we keep, but it's a little awkward. Not going to opt because I don't know what we're looking for other than lands right now, so be kind of awkward too. Alright, so someone's going to Inquisition us. Obviously take one of our ops. So it looks like we're against, looks like we're up against Pyromancer here. I think I bottom that one for now. Of course we reveal a Terminus. Jeez, seriously? Well, this is gonna be a bad game, I have a feeling. Sure, we got ourselves a Snapcaster Mage. Oh dear, that feels horrible. Of course our opponent has a Liliana here. Discarding like Lingering Souls or something dumb. Gotta play a Snappy here for no value just to pressure this Liliana. Path to Exile. Really don't like Liliana in their particular version of the deck. Alright. Wow. So they're a little more... They may not be straight up, not too hot, Isabel. We had a pretty awkward start, and then I drew 2 Terminuses. And our opponent appears to be on some type of... I thought they were on Pyromancer, but if they're on Pyro, they've got a very weird way of showing it. I definitely kept an awkward hand and definitely got punished for it. Like, we got Inquisition into Thoughtseize, so we lost. Well, we started out with our opening hand was like Opt, Terminus, Teferi, and like double Field of Ruin. So, and an island. So our hand was a little bit weird, but it was just like... And beating these double Planeswalkers is going to be a little rough. Colonnade might help, but it also might be too slow, so guess we'll see what they keep in hand here. Feels like they might have a Fatal Push or something here. Sure. Yeah, if they have a push, we're pretty much just going to scoop the game here right now, but if they don't, then it's kind of whatever. Yeah, we're not going to be able to come back from Liliana Ultimate plus, no, just the way they were playing, I suspected they had a, the way they were playing, I suspected they had a Fatal Push because they didn't plus their Liliana of the Veil. So I knew they wanted both cards. That said, I'm not really sure what they're on because they didn't show us, Pyromancer, and they didn't show us Bedlam Reveler, and it's highly unusual for regular Pyromancer to have both Lilianas in their main deck. So I'm not 100% sure of what they're up to. Obviously counter magic isn't fantastic. I'm going to trim a Terminus because we don't know how many creatures they're actually playing. And then beyond that, maybe like 1 or 2 copies of Path. Maybe just a Path, and I think we'll just call it 61 cards deck. I often have trouble figuring out what the 60th. This hand could be good. Having this Terminus in my opener feels like really annoying. Well, they had like the colorations of Mardu Pyromancer. It could have just been a Pyromancer with like a couple Planeswalker draw here. I mean, yeah, you probably get to take my negate here would be my guess. Yep. Which probably means they're on some style of Planeswalkers here. Guessing they're going to land a Liliana of the Veil here. Which is fine, we'll just discard the permanent Terminus, kill it with a Snapcaster Mage, and or they might have Lingering Souls here, which would kind of suck. Yeah, see, I thought they were on Pyromancer, they just had a weird draw. Like, I mean, our draw was equally terrible in game 1, but their Planeswalkers lined up pretty nice to what we were doing. Yeah, I think they're on Bedlam. They're on Mardu Pyromancer and Bedlam Reveler. But we didn't actually see Young Pyromancer, Lingering Souls, or they missed their land drop. Okay, there's the Young Pyro. So I think I'm just gonna fetch a Plains here, so I can play around Blood Moon. And now this Snapcaster Mage has any Liliana shenanigans recovered for right now. Or covered for right now, I should say. I think next turn we're going to start deploying cards to pressure their life total a little bit. Yeah, just let this Faithless Ruling resolve. Depending on what they do here, I'm probably going to snap opt to end the turn, unless they... Yeah, I'm just worried about like a discard spell or something coming down here, because we only have the one counter spell right now. So, doesn't look like they're going to deploy anything. They Fatal Push the Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, see, they were trying to catch us there. They were trying to catch us having passed through the turn, discard spell. I hate when people do that on Moto. That is such a Bush League thing to do. Now the question becomes, is do I just go ahead and deploy this Jace this turn? I think the answer is yes. So they could have Bolt. No, they're not out of gas. They're missing land drops. They were pitching stuff to try to yeah, because they actually missed their second land, or their third land drop. Because I suspect they had like a Liliana or something in their hand, and that's why they tried to set up the negate here. Molten Rain on what? It's an interesting strategy. And we just downed a mountain? Is that why they did that? Wouldn't be surprised if we get Thought Season. Oh. Alright, so we draw a negate. So these lightning bolts kind of suck. I think we put back a... No. Put back Terminus and then Bolt. Play out the Colonnade. That way if we have to, we can opt into Terminus, but we don't have to draw the Terminus per se. They're bolting our Snapcaster Mage. interesting plan for our opponent here. Turns out bottoming that mountain was kind of annoying. Wasn't expecting them to try to go after our mana with Molten Rain. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six. I think we'll go ahead and shock that in. That way we have 2 counter spells available. Logic not this. I only want to pay 2 here. Yeah, they use it against Tron and such, but they're also might be behind enough in this matchup in general that they have to try to resort to trying to mana screw us. Lingering Souls. Sure. Alright, there's the red source we wanted. What am I putting back here? Path is definitely one of the cards. Is the other one Lightning Helix here? I think Path, Terminus. Doing alright, Space Marine. How are you doing? And our opponent willingly went to 2 here. Alright, well, good game, well played? Question mark. It was really kind of a bizarre choice of decisions by our opponent on some of that stuff. So they're definitely on Pyromancer. We didn't know for sure after that weird first game. So Terminus is fine. I think, if anything, I go down a path here, maybe bring in the 3rd Cryptic. Crap like that. Now that we know what nonsense they're kind of up to here, I think we just keep this hand. I mean, we have good mana against Blood Moon. Have a click, we have a bolt. These attrition matchups, you really don't want to draw your good spells right away anyway, so. Me keeping a very awkward hand in game 1 and getting planeswalkered out by, their deck, and then, what the heck? Okay, I thought that was during my end step. I'm like, alright. Then game 2, well, I think Liliana of the Veil, too, was a problem here. Sure, do you want my Vendilion Click or my Lightning Bolt? Okay, they take Click. Interesting. Yeah, Pyromancer. Probably gonna get Blood Mooned here. Or they might be stuck on lands again. So one thing with the Pyromancer deck is sometimes they get stuck on 1 or 2 lands and can't deploy their planeswalkers. Yep. Probably losing Cryptic Command here. That said, they are almost out of gas. Yep, this definitely feels like a Blood Moon kind of game. Which is a shame we didn't have one more blue source in play before they deployed that, but oh well. More likely to want to use Bolt here than I am Path. That's why I untap the Field of Ruin here. Bringing back Pyromancer. Target player. Sure. I thought they brought back... Why would you bring Pyromancer back and then cast Bedlam Reveler? Meh, whatever. Let's go ahead and plus this first. See what we find. Colonnade. It's kind of funny because I almost want to find a Snapcaster Mage to path my own Snap to get the I think it's fine. It's not the greatest thing in the world. I think it's fine. Not having access to this cryptic command kind of sucks. Yeah, and they errated Teferi here, which is kind of entertaining. It's nice you don't have to go through the mechanics of actually untapping your opponent's crap, though. Leon the Last Hope's quite the draw. They must not be running basic planes then. Search for his Kanta is not bad. Awkward. So now we're in that awkward spot of I want to hold up Logic Knot, but I also want to get this Search for his Kanta going. I think I have to hold up Logic Knot for now. Actually, I'm an idiot. I could have deployed Kanta and hold up Logic Knot. Dear Lord. Yeah, Morez, I just realized that as I was doing stuff here. I think I just let Pyromancer resolve. I don't care terribly much about it. Yeah, I completely forgot about the untap, even though it's one of Teferi's primary abilities. Is this like a Kolagon's command or something dumb? 2 damage and targeting Young Pyromancer and Teferi. Yeah, I don't think I want them returning. Like, if it was just targeting Teferi, I'm not sure I would really care, but Basic Mountain, just what I wanted. Would really like to find a Terminus here. Do believe I still have 3 in my deck. Yeah. It's really hard to turn down a Lightning Helix. No. No. Shit! Magic Gods, why do you hate me so sometimes? Both versions of what? Miracles? I prefer Jeskai. Blue-white's probably better in the hands of someone who's a better better control player than I am. No. Yes. Down tick. Crack this for an island. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm just gonna hold up Cryptic this turn cycle rather than jamming the Jace. Let's see. I think I let the front half resolve. Do I let the back half resolve? Okay, let the back half resolve here too. I'll just look for the terminus and jam it next turn. Yeah, that'll play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I can snap terminus and still have Cryptic Command up. Seems pretty good. Do have to worry about winning the game on time a little bit, but I think we'll still be alright here. Clear out their tokens. Use Teferi to hold up Cryptic Command here. So I know they're going to have Blood Moon coming, because they haven't, which is dumb, because I don't think Blood Moon does all that much other than shut down his Kanta at this point. They don't have any more lootings in the yard. How much do I care about his Kanta right now? I think I just let that go. Like I said, as much as I there's another search for his Kanta, so put back Field of Ruin, Colonnade for right now, play that out. Play out another search for his Kanta, then hold up Cryptic Command here, and we can start the process of burning them out eventually. Hold up the bolt in case we want to bolt something here. Alright, other than that goofy keep game 1. That felt pretty good. Alright, I'll be back in 1 minute. Gonna go get a drink of water, because these matches are gonna take a while. To get into your question a little bit more, Space Marine, a lot of it depends on like what matchups you expect to see. Blue-white's a little bit better against Tron, and probably Tron. Whereas, excuse me, the Jeskai builds are a little bit better against the creature decks. Like humans only having to be able to shut down Path to Exile and Terminus, and potentially Oust. It's a lot easier for the humans decks to Meddling Mage or Kate Sail Freebooter their way out of Blue-White's removal than it is Jeskai's. But Blue-White has arguably better mana and access to more cantrips and counterspells, and they're better able to fit in things like additional planeswalkers like Gideon the Trials or Detention Sphere, whereas the extra burn spells and Snapcaster Mages give Jeskai the ability to close out the game a little bit faster. So it's all a matter of, because like, if you should know this is playing a control deck a lot of the time, your opponent's going to feel pretty liberal with their use of their light total against a lot of control decks. So a lot of times they're going to put themselves down to, 10, 12, 14, and it doesn't really take much for a couple, like a Celestial Colonnade slap or two, and a, seems a little bit risky because of the, mana situation. Like, we have a couple of 4-drops and a Terminus in our hand, but we do have Bolt and Snapcaster, so it was reasonable to keep. Maybe this was a mulligan. Wooded Foothills can be a couple of things. This could be Burn, this could be either Ponza or Valakut. Looks like Hollow One. Well, oh my. we might be up against straight up normal dredge. So I think we grab our, at least given our mana situation, we grab a Sacred Foundry here for now so we have access to Bolt. It's all meta dependent, my man. It's all meta dependent. So we are up, oh my, we are getting creeping chilled. But yeah, looks like we're up against straight up dredge here. Creeping chill giving them a little bit of reach is going to be annoying too. Shriekhorn, sure. Yep. Here comes old Bloody G back. This could be a little rough not having access to the true graveyard hate in the sideboard. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, we have Terminus, which can sweep their idiots away, and, you know, we can use Jace to set it up, but, getting creeping chilled again. Alright. And they have the con flags, too. This could get rough. Haven't seen True Dredge in a while. That's... Archamoeba, they're going to get an Amalgam back. Need to hit a Terminus like next turn if possible. I hate bolding recursive threats, but we gotta save the life total right now, because they already have the life from the loam engine. Yeah, I really want to find a Terminus this turn. Yeah, these Creeping Chills. I wonder what card they gave up to get these Creeping Chills in their deck. I mean, we really just got Cryptic Command, tap their team. Jason the Terminus just isn't fast enough here. And then we're simply at risk of dying to Conflagrate. Of course we draw Terminus off of it. I knew that was going to happen. Yep, now they're going to start the Life from the Loam into Conflagrate nonsense. Put us to 1 here. Alright. The problem is we really don't have anything on our sideboard for Dredge. Dredge is unique in how it attacks control as opposed to Hollow One or Bridgevine, because the extra access of Conflagrate plus the value engine makes it really difficult to kind of combat what they're doing. Like, I don't even know what I bring in here. Geist is not good against all of their... actually, are all their idiots really that relevant? Most of their idiots don't block, so maybe it's right to bring in Geist to help close out the game. And go down maybe like a Cryptic Command. And a Bolt, maybe? I don't know. We have so few things that matter besides Path and Terminus. Yeah, I guess I have a Path. Terminus in the opener hand never is great. And Creeping Chill kind of makes things a little more awkward too, because that gives their deck a lot of reach that normal Jeskai or normal Dredge decks didn't have. I respect what the opponent's doing. Like, I would love to have access to Rest in Peace in my sideboard right now. But, I mean, this is the cards we decided to enter. I'm still trying to figure out what cards they gave up from traditional Dredge to get those Creeping Chills in their deck. It's a lot of Bloodghasts. I don't want to fire off too many Path Exiles, because we could conceivably draw Terminus, but nope, just Bolt. Alright, then board out the Creeping Chills. That's unfortunate. I think we just run out Snap Path here. Another one of them. Bloodghasts. Opponent flashbacks eluding here would be my guess. Yeah, Cathartic Reunion. Alright. Looks like they might have boarded out some number of Conflagrates. Welcome to the Browns Club, where your team can and will find a way to lose. Yeah. This game was just, it's a pretty rough matchup. The way our deck's constructed. Like, I think Hollow One's probably an okay matchup. I don't know about Bridgevine. I suspect Bridgevine comes down to whether you can find Terminus or not. Dude, you root for the Steelers and the Pats? That's kind of a nombo, isn't it? Oh, wow. They went from sucking the last couple weeks to blowing the Dolphins out of the water. Sounds alright. I mean, we've got past Snapcaster Mage and Teferi and plenty of land drops. So, as long as they're a creature-ish deck, but if they mulligan too hard, this might be Tron, and Tron would kind of suck. Yep, it's Tron. I think it's a reasonable choice in the meta. It's just, you gotta understand certain matchups you're never gonna win. Like, last time out I played this deck, I ran into a bunch of creature decks. The deck felt really good. This time I'm running into Dredge and Tron, and I'm probably going to get smoked. So... Alright, Worm Coil Engine I don't care about. The problem with Brainstorm in Modern, it was also make decks like Storm tremendously better too. So, oh, well, there's the Karn. So we can't really reasonably take them off of Tron, even with our Field of Ruin here. So, I'm going to wait for them to pop the map. Go ahead and get this Karn kind of under control a little bit. Play this Teferi. Want to hold up Path here. Have the illusion of a counterspell. Next turn we can tuck the Karn if we have to. Surprised they're not just ghost quartering us automatically here. We might have a chance, but the problem with Tron is Tron has so many, like, redraws and threats that are annoying. Like, if this is Worm Coil, that's fine. This is probably Walking Ballista, which means Teferi's dead and our Snapcaster Mage is dead. Yeah, I'm doing the whole league as long as I don't get too tired. I don't know that we were actually winning that game quite yet, but I'll take it. These Terminuses out of my deck. Alright, well, we want some number of Stony Silences, maybe all three. Definitely want the Dampening Spheres. Definitely want the Negates. Definitely want the Alpine Moons. Definitely want the Vendilion Clicks. We definitely want the Geists of St. Traft. Might want the Abrade. What cards are not great? Can probably cut a Jace here. It's almost like we have too many cards for the matchup. Probably cut some amount of the reach here. Problem is, we still need ways to close out the game. So, Helix out, a couple bolts in. Still need to cut 2 cards though. Maybe 1 Stony Silence on the draw, because it might be too slow. And maybe 1 Snapcaster, since we're going down so much of our 1-mana interaction here. Oh, I agree, a win's a win. It just didn't feel like we were going to win that game. Ugh. I think we keep this hand, but it is risky. I really want white mana, but I really can't turn down a land. You just had Gully G Natural Tron. That feels good. Do this. If they have a 4th land, we'll counter the Thought Knot. If they don't, then alright, well, I was going to jam Jace, but I think holding up Cryptic Command's far more appealing right now. That awkward moment where you could potentially have a Nature's Claim, but you couldn't cast it. Sure. Ancient Stirrings resolves. Relic, I don't really care about. Sure. Yeah, that one's not going to... That Emrakul is definitely, not be in your hand. Emrakul and Ugin. Man, that's rough. mean, I can pseudo beat Ugin. I don't know that I can easily beat 2, 3, 4. Sylvan's Scrying, don't care. One, two, three. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's right. Making sure I was doing the math right. Yep, pop the relic. Sure. They play a land yet this turn? Really hate countering this, but alright, Logic Knot's a good one. Ish. So 1, 2, 6, 9, 13. So we can't quite kill them this turn. I'm just supposed to leave Logic Knot up here. Do I even care about Karn? Sure. Alright, I mean, being Tron felt pretty good there. Weird. So I thank everyone for hanging out this evening, playing some Jeskai Miracles. This list is largely based on Brian DeMars's list. Big fucking sword. I don't know how good or bad a matchup is. I know Blue-White has a little bit of an easier time because they have 4 Field of Runes and some versions run a Ghost Quarter. To be frank, we got a little bit lucky to win Game 1. That they only had the one payoff in the one Karn before we were able to start deploying our stuff. I guess they technically had Worm Coil too, but we don't really care about Worm Coil. This hand... Is this hand a keep? This feels like one of those hands that could get us in a lot of trouble. But isn't that like every control hand? I don't know, what do you guys think? Keep or maul? Alright, we'll keep. Oh! I think we're up against Grixis Death Shadow, and this hand's gonna go from good to really bad really quickly. Oh, wow, they didn't have a discard spell on one. Okay. This feels like Death Shadow, but it could be something else. Nope, definitely DS. Why do people do Mishra's Bauble here when they know the card is not going to remain? The only legal target's Path to Exile. Okay. Sure? I mean... Alright, we got ourselves a Logic Knot, sure. How many Death Shadows do you have? Okay. Tarmogoofy. We can play around Soft Stub. Like, I'm not even going to pretend I have anything. I'm just going to go after their green source here. If they have another if they have a forest, they have a forest. Yep. My hand is now garbage. And if we draw a Snapcaster Mage at any point, you're just dead. Cool. Way to go, Terminus. Right on time. So it looks like they're Sultai Death Shadow with Assassin's Trophy. Come on, Snappy. Give me a Snapperino. Bolt you. Snapcaster. Target lightning bolt. Maybe I should be playing around double soft stub here, but I don't think so. Seriously? Oh, man. Alright, well, I mean, they get to get rid of our Snapcaster Mage, which sucks. Guess I was a little too happy to... Yeah, I was just thinking I should like bolt them, end of turn, untap, bolt them. I was just like, nah, they're not gonna have no, they're not gonna have anything. I mean, I'm just going to target Logic Knot here, I guess. Let them discard their card. Okay. This has been a weird game, man. Dismember. Alright, well, okay. Got punished by double stubborn denial, still win the game because they put themselves to 6. Eh? Oh, right here. So, definitely want the Vendilions. We don't want Geist because they have the big bruisers. We might want some number of negates. Cryptic Command's really kind of clunky against their stubborn denials. And I think we can probably safely shave like a Terminus here. The question is, do we want to bring in like Dispel against Assassin's Trophy and Stubborn Denial? Or is that getting too cute? I think that might be getting too cute. Especially since they have so much hand disruption too. Yeah, I mean, I can't turn down this hand. I think I would rather have Bolt in my deck than a 4th copy of Terminus, just because they often do damage themselves so much that you have a good chance of stealing the game with Bolt than you do a Terminus. Wow, are we going to get turn 1 Death Shadow? Yeah. Probably take Path here would be my guess. Question is, do I shock this in or not? I think we'll shock it in since they know we have the opt anyway. That sucks. Well, it's gonna have to take another path. They're gonna be like, seriously? Yep, and here comes a Death Shadow. Or, I guess, a Delve Threat. Tassiger. Probably have a Stubborn Denial here, but, you know, whatever. Question becomes, can we induce them to tap their mana at any point here to get rid of this Tassiger? Since they don't have any reach, I'm just going to go ahead and take this one. Sure. Sure. End of turn. Vendilion click them. See what they got working with over there. Snapcaster Mage and Liliana, the Last Hope. I think we just leave them with both of those cards? Question mark. I guess we take Lily. Seriously? So we know one of their cards in hand is a Snapcaster Mage, so we're probably going to lose our other Snap, which sucks. Oh, we certainly will, just not tonight. Man, drawing a bunch of lands kind of sucks here. Space Marine, be nice. Oh. Valentine, he's just a smart aleck. Don't pay any attention to him. Death Shadow's a card. Wow, double Death Shadow? We need Terminus ASAP. It's going alright, although I think we might be on our way to losing this game. Yeah, I think we're going to be dead to Exaxes here. Yep, I mean, we had the Terminus set up for next turn, but we were just dead here. Alright, I guess I'll buy the Bolt for the Terminus argument here. Beyond that, I don't think I see anything else we want to change here. Yeah, I'm inclined to keep us in. So far we've played against Tron, Dredge, see if they target me again. Target himself. Alright. Tron, Dredge, Death Shadow here, and then the first match was Marjorie Pyromancer. It certainly wasn't the best matchups for Dredge is not a good matchup because we don't have Graveyard Hate. And oh, okay, sarcasm. Gotcha. I mean, I think Dredge would have been a fine matchup if we would have had some Rest in Pieces in our sideboard, but we're about to get Collective Brutality'd here. Yep, your Inquisition resolves. We won the Tron matchup. Dredge was just rough because not only were they running Conflagrate, they were also running Creeping Chill too. So they had a lot more reach. So even if we would have found Terminuses to clear out their creatures, it was not the most pleasant of experiences. Seriously? I think we're just going to pass a turn and see what they do before we try to mana screw them here with Field of Ruin. See if they learn their lesson and they try to get a second green source here. Guessing that means a Stubborn Denial. awkward. If I would have fixed my mana there, I think we would have been in a lot better space. Because then we could have played Jace, bounce their Death Shadow. Yep, Liliana is not the easiest card to combat for us. Blind hit a Tarmogoyf. Alright. Don't suspect this will resolve, but we have to try to run it out there. Alright, so 2 and 2 so far. Obviously our opponent had a lot of discard spells plus disruption there. It's not exactly the easiest thing for control to combat. Only so much you can do. Another Death Shadow matchup would kind of suck. That's exactly what we're up against. This one appears to be of the Grixis variety. Opponent likely... Wow, why would you... Why would you Stubborn Denial the... I mean, if they have a... Why would you stub the op there? That didn't make sense. Guessing you have like a Liliana or something here to run out. Or another Death Shadow. They have nothing. Alright, sure. That's why I didn't crack the fetch land. See if they have a bolt or something here to kill the Jace. They do. Alright. No. Yes. Probably sitting on a bunch of fatal pushes and nonsense over there right now. Alright. So our opponent, our opponent has fewer heavy hitters than last matchup. Like our last opponent had Goyfs, Death Shadows, and Delve threats. At least Tasker that we saw. So I think I'm going to board pretty similarly. Get these cryptic commands out of our deck. Don't know that we want negate. Don't think we want Geist though. Let's bring in a Miser's negate, I guess. No, I'd rather have negate than cryptic. This hand is hecka awkward. I think we keep it, but these multiple Field of Ruins can get a little awkward sometimes. Young Pyromancer. Sure. No. It's again very awkward. Maybe I shouldn't just kept this hand because of the stupid mana. They have both their basics in their hand? That's disgusting. No, I think they have basics. I suspect one of them's in their hand, though. Alright. Weird. Really care about a naked Snapcaster Mage here. Apparently not. So, man, this is annoying. Like, I want to jam Jace here. Is it crazy to jam Jace and probably trying to get me to tap low on mana so he could resolve something if he drew it? Because there aren't too many counterspells that blue-white X decks play for 1 mana. Is it greedy to jam Jace here and Brainstorm? Try to hit another mana source? I don't really like Jason balance against Bolt. But I suppose that could be the best line just because of the mana efficiency. Do I think he concedes to Blood Moon? Probably. He had one card in hand, technically. See, technically he had two. Because we bounced the Young Pyromancer and he just recast it. So he drew a card for the turn in addition to the Pyromancer. Alright, so 3 and 2, I mean, not the most illustrious performance for the deck, but pretty solid. I mean, we lost to Dredge and we lost to Sultai. I wanted it more Death Shadow. So, they're an aggressive disruption-based mid-range deck. Their draws vary greatly between the their I have a threat hands and their I don't have a threat hands. So, I find the deck interesting, but I don't know if it's a deck that I could play like a huge amount, just because there is such a risk of putting yourself to such a low life total just for the payoff of having a bigger creature. But anywho, I don't know about Sultai. That's the first time I've actually seen a Sultai build that I kind of liked, and the trophy kind of makes sense, but hard to say what's going to be the better version of Death Shadow moving forward. Long story short, Jeskai Miracle, still a reasonable deck. I don't know. I don't know that I really want Graveyard Hate, even with losing to Dredge. I think the Hollow One matchup's fine with Path and Terminus. Death Shadow is just a coin flip if they have enough disruption to stop you. And, I mean, stripping your hand all the way down. I mean, if we still hit a blind Terminus there, I still think we would have won Game 3 against the Sultai deck, but, I mean, that's just the nature of the games you play sometimes with Control, is sometimes your answers don't line up, and sometimes they're able to strip your answers, so, I mean, like Space Marine said, sometimes Control is just the biggest YOLO deck there is, but, anywho, I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. Worked on some homework before this, did this, now I'm going to be going to bed. I'll probably stream some tomorrow morning. Depends on when I wake up, because I still have some more homework to work on before class. I don't want Sphinx's Revelation in this deck. I think this deck is pretty close to fine the way it is. Revelation's better in... Well, yeah, but to be fair, we don't really care about our opponent casting discard spells. It's discard spells plus pressure. And sometimes you don't have enough lands in play for Revelation to be relevant in those situations. But sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Hey, thanks. You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out, Moses. Hope you have a good evening. We will definitely be streaming some more 4-Color Geist. Maybe Wednesday? So, dude, I've cast Sphinx's Revelation for larger than that. My largest Sphinx's Revelation ever was... Good night, Isabel. I think my largest Revelation ever was like 17 or 18. I cast Sphinx's Revelation for 16 or 17 into a Rakdos' Return for lethal. So, I've cast very large Sphinx's Revelations before, but mostly while it was in Standard. Well, you're the one telling me I haven't lived until I cast a Revelation for 12, and I'm just letting you know that I played a deck in at the tail end of that Standard that had an obnoxious amount of ramp, and it cast obnoxiously large Sphinx's Revelations and Rakdos' Returns. In addition to playing things like, what all did that deck play? Deck played like Obzadot. It played all kinds of crazy stuff. I have to try to find that list sometime. It was like Axebane Guardian, Sylvan Caryatid, and then a bunch of just like random powerful spells. It was a good 4 or 5 color deck. I think it was 5. Might have been 5 color. Had like Blood Variant Viscopa, Orzhov Ghost Council, Sphinx's Rev, Rakdos' Return. Yeah, it was some crazy stuff. But alright. I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. Space Marine for being our it was meant to be a fun like F&M deck. It wasn't anything. I wasn't really being super serious back then. So alright, I will catch everybody later. Thanks for hanging out. Space Marine, Isabel, Moses, Doyle, everybody else that's been hanging out tonight, Valentine. Hope everybody has a good evening. And I will catch you all later. This has been Dusk for Dusk 09 Gaming.